Welcome to Two Poor Artists, where we're poor at knowing when the first day of fall is, but mostly we're poor at making art. I'm Isaac.
And my name is Benj. So today is the first day of fall.
Yeah.
So we're drawing
Figured it out.
the first day of fall.
Because, everybody's bad at knowing the first day, especially in Arizona.
Yeah, because, when are you supposed to know when the fall equinox is?
I'm pretty sure that there's, an old wise forest sage that sits in the forest every once in a while, and he just looks for the first leaf to change color, and that marks the first day of fall.
That's not how it's determined.
I think that's how it used to be determined.
No.
There was a time.
No, the way you know is
in the land before time.
So, for those of you that are as dumb as Isaac,
hey,
the way that we know when the fall, it's based off of the fall equinox. And what equinoxes are...
Okay, this is so boring.
...is when the sun hits the equator exactly so that the sun is down on the equator. Like, if you're on the equator, the sun is down for 12 hours and up for 12 hours. Exactly. That's the day that it becomes fall.
Okay.
So, there's
that's
a
today?
well-established...
So there's an old forest sage that's sitting near the equator waiting for this to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And he just looks across the horizon, and as soon as that happens, he
declares
it.
He counts the seconds.
He sends out all of his forest critters.
The sun was down for exactly 12
He does the dance of
hours,
fall.
No seconds.
Yeah, okay. So it's like him out there with a stopwatch.
Yeah.
And a bunch of squirrels. I imagine him like Davy Crockett, but dressed in more leaves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's also... Fall always begins on either the 22nd or 23rd, sometimes the 21st, sometimes the 24th.
Except for in months that have 31 days.
It's always September.
Yeah, see? That's what my statement is true. Yeah.
You're never going to have fall equinox be months different.
Yeah, but anyway, today is the first day of fall.
Mm-hmm.
And we're a big fan of fall on this channel. Every year, we've drawn something related to fall. We've drawn fall break. We've drawn fall. The fall. That's today, the first day of fall.
Yes.
We're not scraping the bottom of the barrel at all.
Mm-hmm.
That rhymed.
Last time, and by last time I mean 2 years ago, when we drew the fall.
What did we draw last year then? Fall break.
Fall break.
That's right.
I could easily go back to that and draw something with Adam and Eve, right? The first day of the fall.
See, the problem is I don't remember at all what we've drawn in past years related to fall.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a good chance that we've exhausted all the puns and we're just going to recycle them.
I don't know what you drew. I know that I drew Adam and Eve the first time, just the fall.
Uh-huh.
And I'm pretty sure there wasn't even a pun involved. It was just literally fall. I think Adam was tripped and fell. I think that was maybe the pun. And then on...
Dang it. See, because there goes my plan for today.
I mean, you could draw it if you wanted, but that's what I drew 2 years ago.
Man. So
and then on fall break, I drew things falling and spirit, or not spirit, fairies.
Spirit. Ew.
Stick figure fairy things,
stick figure fairy things,
pushing people.
I vaguely remember that.
And then there's the stick figure cat spirit that helped them fall on their feet.
This is why we should look back at our videos every once in a while so we can, get it right.
Yeah, I didn't look back at our videos. I just
fall break. Huh. So, do you know what you're going to draw today? Because now I'm realizing I gotta dig deep, man.
I'm drawing something very different.
I drew a cannon last year. There was horses in last year's drawing. How?
Oh, that's always dangerous.
Oh, look, it's so gross.
Oh, those are those horses have a saggy butt.
Go watch last year's.
You can't see them, but those are saggy butt horses sticking their heads in.
Wow. Okay. So last year was about Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah. And all the Keen's horses are just so...
The real Humpty Dumpty. I'm not going to tell you what the real Humpty Dumpty is. I'm going to make you go back and watch that video.
The Keen needs new horses. That's all I'm going to say. Those are sock puppet horses.
We may not have done a fall one the year before that. We did pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
We did confrontation. Speech seasoned with salt. I think it's because around that time we became professional artists, so I think we drew that instead. You know, us becoming professional artists was a much bigger deal than the seasons changing.
Season changing, yeah. Yeah, I mean, plus you said we're big fans of the fall here, but like
in Arizona, it's hard. I should say in Mesa, it's hard to be fans of the fall because it doesn't mean anything.
Well, I mean, it's significantly cooler.
When you say significantly, the high is 110 in 2 days.
But that's like
it's
once this week.
Yeah, but like,
and that's way better. Like 110. Like, you guys who don't live in Mesa don't even understand how much nicer 110 is than 115.
Yeah, but like, it's the time of year where people who have normal body temperatures, like, they're waiting for the 80s and the 70s. I mean, it's sad that in Mesa we're like waiting for the 80s and that's fall, but
it's like, people need to understand how much better it is, though. Because
you're right.
like I'm a school bus driver, okay, and buses, more than almost any other vehicle, suffer from the greenhouse effect. You know, because they're metal and glass.
It's always a shame when they're sprouting
containers.
Trees.
That's not what the greenhouse effect is.
Oh, is it the one where? Go on.
I'll explain it to those people who might not know. It's just
you should draw while you explain.
I can't explain science and draw at the same time.
This is gonna be, you know, like, you know how
we're not 10 minutes.
You know how YouTube videos show like the most replayed part of the video? If they showed the most unplayed part of the video,
here, I'll draw a greenhouse. This isn't part of the drawing.
Oh, okay. That's an igloo bench.
Greenhouses and igloos are the same thing.
I don't know.
Haven't you ever seen SpongeBob? This is just the exact.
That is just a big glass fishbowl under the sea.
Yeah, it's a greenhouse.
Yeah, but
so the reason it's called the greenhouse effect is because if you have something that lets sunlight in, so like metal, you know, you can't see the sunlight, but metal lets a lot of the heat in, and glass lets a lot of the heat in. But once the air inside is hot, the air itself can't escape the greenhouse. So it heats
I recommend not operating heavy machinery while listening to this part of the video, as it does cause drowsiness.
But it heats up inside, and then it can't escape. So it's not related to other things that you might think of as greenhouse.
It should be called a heat house. Can we just agree that greenhouse is very misleading?
The heat house effect?
It should be like called a glass heat house, because they're made of glass and they cause heat. And like, sure, green things grow in them, but like, there's green things outside of them too.
Right.
If it was painted green,
yeah,
I feel like naming anything after a color and then it just not being that color is quite unfortunate.
Yeah, but they're called greenhouses because you grow.
Yes, I understand the concept of growing things. Are there a lot of black and white plants out there? You know, I'm thinking for the Two Poor Artists Garden. You know,
I mean, you can always
at the Two Poor Artists Hotel.
Like, there's white roses.
We're gonna be going like Queen of Hearts style. They're painting the roses black, painting the roses white.
Yeah, well, you'll get white roses and you paint some of them black.
Oh, so like goth roses.
Yeah,
like you can buy those. You ever go to a flower shop and they have just like black flowers in the corner?
Because you can just like put
and like a spiked dog collar wrapped around them.
You can put it like in water with dye in it, and it will change colors.
They don't put them in a vase. They put them in like a big Doc Martens spiky boot, and you just bring that to some goth girl.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's what we're gonna do. So
that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go find us a goth girl and bring her some black roses. That's what we're gonna do. I don't know that I want to do that.
Yeah,
goth girls are scary, man.
Depends on who you know.
Yeah, if you know a goth girl, and I mean, there's probably a couple goth girls that don't look like they want to angst you to death, but.
So getting back to the
is your drawing for the fall?
No, this is
bonus drawing. Winnie the Pooh in the. Oh, is it Sandy Cheeks?
Yeah,
or Space Hamster?
Could be either, I guess,
It's like
because
a mixture of Winnie the Pooh,
so-
Space Hamster, and
so undetailed.
yeah, it's just generic
She has
woodland
those-
creature.
She has those like
Oh, what the heck is
the
that?
karate gloves that
No, that's
they
Sandy
wear.
and
That's
SpongeBob.
like, well, like why are their karate gloves like so
Big foam fingers.
big foam fingers?
Uh-huh.
One that has one less fingers than the other.
I think there was a point in cartoons where like violence became unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
So if there was going to be violence, it had to be like pathetic.
Right.
Like we're not promoting violence. We're promoting gently karate chopping people with foam fingers. That's not violent. If children imitate this, we can't get sued. You know?
Yeah, that's exactly how it is.
Is this SpongeBob?
No, this is Doodle Bob.
Oh,
You can tell by how bad he is.
he's the greatest of SpongeBob characters due to the doodle in his name.
Yeah.
Although he's drawn with pencil, so
So
imagine how dangerous Doodle Bob would be if he was drawn in pen.
mm,
Couldn't get rid of him.
no, you couldn't erase. Like that's how they beat him. Is
Yeah,
they erase him.
him.
If he was pen, invulnerable.
All right.
So getting back to the greenhouse effect.
This has been Science Talk with the two poor botanists.
So if in Arizona,
Yes.
like when you're driving a bus, like when it's 115,
It's like 100 and...
you turn on the
90.
AC full blast and it will never be comfortable.
Yeah.
If it's 105, like you turn the AC on low and it's comfortable after a few minutes.
It-
Like there's such a big difference in whether your AC can keep up or not.
Yeah. I mean, it's just... No one should be shocked that a big metal tube full of air can't cool down.
Right.
Because it just soaks up
Yeah.
heat.
But it can cool down if it's 105 or lower outside, it can cool down easily.
Huh.
Like 115, you'll never be cool.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of
Like-
how it feels just in general in Arizona. Like,
Mhm.
you're in your house and it's 115 outside. You're like, I know the air conditioning's on, but I haven't cooled down from yesterday when I was outside in
Mhm.
the heat.
Yeah.
You know?
Like the difference when it's lower than 110 to when it's higher than 110.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, oh, technically it's a few degrees difference, but it's so well, and it makes sense because 110 is when cells start to die. Anything lower,
You can feel it.
yeah, like anything lower than that, you're technically safe. Like you can still get
Technically.
heat stroke and stuff if you're like not careful, but you're like your cells aren't dying just from existing. So
In
if-
Arizona, people aren't careful either because people are so just they want to be outside,
Mhm.
you know. But it's like July and it's like 120-ish out.
Right.
And what people I don't think realize is that all temperature is measured in the shade.
Mhm.
You can't put a thermometer in the sun, or it just messes with the actual temperature.
right.
So like it's 120 in the shade,
Mm-hmm.
and they're out hiking like
Yeah.
a mountain.
Right.
Every year, you get the inevitable story of the people who had to be helicoptered off the nearest mountain,
Right.
and it's embarrassing
Yeah.
because like,
It's like-
our mountains here are like in the valley are close to cities. So, like you
Right.
can see the city
Yeah.
from where you need to be.
Yeah, because we live in a valley. Like
Uh-huh.
it's right there.
Yeah,
Like all the mountains.
it's quite unfortunate for those people.
Yeah. People
But they just really
people
like the
are-
outdoors.
quite dumb.
They are.
But yeah. The other thing that people need to realize is there is a big difference because it's a dry heat. Like 90 outside when it's dry,
Oh yeah.
it's so much better
It's so nice.
than 80
Yeah.
when it's like humid.
No, I will take 90 any day. I'll fully admit that a dry heat is much different than humidity.
Mm-hmm.
You can be comfortable, but the problem is with our dry heat here is that it's a dry heat mixed with the temperature of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really rough because it's like, sure, we're not gonna die of dehydration immediately,
Right.
but it's also it balances out in a strange way.
This is the actual start of my drawing now.
This
These
might be the latest we've started a drawing ever.
no, maybe I don't know. It is pretty late.
Yeah, but at least they got a botany lesson, and
Yeah.
we got to complain a little bit about
There,
Arizona.
there is like a little bit of drawing. These are not SpongeBob's.
Oh, are they glasses of water?
No.
Bottles of ink? Oh, they have feet. Maybe.
See, the reason that I know I'm not gonna draw the same thing that I drew last times is this one has the word day in it. So these are calendar
Oh,
people.
it's about time. It's about time. Macaron and Cheese will be pleased. He's a big fan of these guys.
Yeah, I mean, there's always new lore to be learned with
days.
calendar people.
It's true. It's a beautiful thing.
I don't always draw them the same, though. I've realized, like, I don't, because I never look at what my calendar people looked like in the past. Like, did they wear like Mickey Mouse gloves, or did they have regular hands, or, you know,
True.
where did I put the month? Is the month up here, or is that the day? I'm gonna say the month is up here. Hopefully, that's the same. So obviously, these are September.
Are they September 22nd?
No.
No, but that's the first day of fall.
One of them will be. You see, so the big question I'm always asked with these calendar people, right, is how are holidays determined? So you have like the obvious holidays with calendar people. You know, Christmas,
Thanksgiving.
It's December 25th. Like every time a calendar person is born that is September 25th, they are also Christmas. Like they know that.
Like they know that their day matches up with Christmas in December?
Like, yeah, like everyone knows if they are December 25th, then they're Christmas.
But they're in September.
What? I'm saying December 25th every time.
Yeah, but these ones are... Okay. Anyway, they know they're Christmas. That's true.
December 25th.
Yeah. They're very blessed.
But, like, let's say you're born...
Unlike humans that are born on Christmas, they're not blessed.
Like, if you're born as September 22nd...
Yeah,
like,
you might be.
You don't know. Like, am I going to be...
Yeah, like some years...
The first day of fall? Like,
some years you're special.
Is fall equinox going to be on this day?
It is rough to not know if you're special.
Yeah, like, it's like, oh, I could just be the least important day ever.
Yeah.
Or I could be the first day of fall.
Exactly, right?
Like, like yesterday. Yesterday could have been the first day of fall. But instead, it was nothing.
Nothing day. No one speaks of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like all calendar people have some comfort in knowing that, like, somewhere on Earth, people celebrate them because of, birthdays. Like, they're not all completely useless. But it's also real easy to tell celebrities in the calendar world because you just know. They're Christmas.
Like Christmas.
Yeah,
Like, this guy was born Christmas.
Yeah, like, and in the calendar world, that's like a blessing versus in the human world, if you're born on Christmas, then you have to share with Jesus.
Yeah.
And you should be happy about that in a way, but people usually aren't.
No, because it means you essentially
you're just not the most important one. There's something more important that happened. The birth of, the savior of the world is just, it trumps you.
Yeah.
It's like, you just don't, you can't compete.
Yeah. So
these ones are getting violent.
What happens for calendar people? Like, you might think, oh, they, like us, look at the sun and just determine. That's not true. Calendar people determine it by sword fighting. The winner of the sword fighting gets to be the day.
Is this how it works? Is this like how war works in the calendar world?
All wars are fought over holidays in the calendar world.
That does make sense.
Because it's like you wouldn't fight over land in the calendar world.
Yeah, why would you?
Yeah, it doesn't even make sense.
I will point out that this year, next year, and 2026, it's on the 22nd.
Yeah, like...
I feel like it's either the 22nd or the 23rd. Like, I don't think it's ever the 21st.
Oh, yeah, you're right. The 22nd and 23rd almost always...
What's that guy doing? What's he upset about? Because he's close? Like...
No, but it's sometimes the 21st and sometimes the 24th.
Yeah.
Like, it's possible.
You want to know what's really weird?
Almost never... Like, the 21st and 24th, like, basically never win. They're like the losers.
I guess.
How do I make him look weak? Or do I make these guys look strong?
Strong, like, panting or tired, sweating.
Like, he's just so much sweat.
Yeah, he's putting a lot of exertion into this.
Pouring off.
Yeah. Calendar
Like, he
people
just-
sweat. That's something we've now established.
Yep.
Real nasty. Like when people sweat, it's kind of gross. When a piece of paper sweats, like you can imagine the consequences. You get droopy. You get, transparent.
Here we can even make like this guy like he like knows he's gonna win. He's a little bit. He's a little
smirk there.
He's a little bit.
That is
smirking.
a creepy smirk. I'll admit. Like there's something wrong about it.
Like
Imagine somebody with a straight face, but then just like the corners of their mouth curl up.
this guy like.
I don't want that guy to win now.
This guy like has a sword, but it's like.
What's the opposite of sweating? And I know the logical answer is just not sweating. But
Like you think there's like a word for not sweating?
I think it's like hydrating.
Like drinking.
Yeah.
This arm's going off screen, so I don't have to draw it.
Yeah, that's advanced art technique. Yeah, just has a little curved knife back there.
Yeah, like he's not gonna win. He knows it.
I mean,
In fact,
I understand
maybe
that like,
he has like the opposite of
a
a
good
smirk.
portion of war is just pointless. There are wars that make sense in history. But
Mhm.
like calendar wars seem real pointless because they're fighting over holidays, like things that were set and established. Like they were set not even in their world. The human world determines the importance of calendar people.
Do they?
I think we do.
Or do the calendar people determine the importance of our holidays?
Like they decided when the human Jesus was born.
Do you think we celebrate it on the actual day?
Yeah, I guess
That
that's
Jesus
true.
was born?
Like I think
No.
most people agree that Jesus
Some-
wasn't actually born.
Some powerful like calendar
entity?
family
Oh,
like was like December
the
December
calendar-
25th. Like
calendar conglomerate.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like this is
the
December.
Rockefellers of the calendar
This
world.
is December 25th.
Oh.
Like the
Just,
he's
like mediate
he-
wars between
he's
other
like
people.
the most important
Yeah, they ain't.
like he's like the king of the in
They're
fact
not, they're not touching that guy.
I'm gonna give
The
him
king of the calendars.
the king of the calendar people is
Huh.
I mean you could tell me there's a more important day
There's not.
than Christmas.
There's
like
not.
it is almost everyone's favorite day.
I would argue September 29th is right up there, but it's definitely not as important.
Like most people say their favorite day is December 25th.
Yeah.
It's so important that the day like after Halloween, it's already Christmas. Like
It's true. Yeah, it takes 2 whole months.
and you think, "Oh, that's
Like,
because we
It's so yeah.
we as humans have determined that December 25th
Oh, what
is
the
the
heck
day we
happened?
celebrate."
Like, what happened to his eyes, man?
He's watching both.
real creepy, like a chameleon calendar.
We assume that it's
Ew.
because humans
Ew.
have established that December 25th is Christmas and that's why it's important.
Yeah.
But it's actually the powerful calendar family,
conglomerate, Yeah.
that decided it for us.
This makes me question our world quite a bit. I also can't get over his eyes anytime soon. I know December 25th is the most important day of the year for a lot of reasons, but one of them is that there's an entire other holiday dedicated to buying things for December 25th.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Black Friday is all about buying stuff for Christmas.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's hard not to like December 25th because unless you work at like a gas station, you have the day off work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, unless you're Jewish or something, you know, like and you're forced to work.
Unless you like choose to work, really, is what it is.
It's true.
Like you like
I guess there's those
Like,
poor
it's
people that I try
assumed-
not to think about that like have to work on Christmas. Like
But,
their
like-
boss comes to them like in a movie
mm-hmm.
and is like, "You got to work Christmas this year."
But like even like in like when I worked at Target, like I wasn't asked, "Do you celebrate Christmas?"
Well, I mean, they just
Like,
aren't
they just-
open.
You just yeah. Well, but that's what I mean. Like the day is it's assumed you get it off.
Yeah, but like if you work at is Walmart closed on Christmas?
Yeah. It's the only day. It used to be that Walmart was open 24/7 except for Christmas.
Yeah. Then they took away the 24/7,
Yeah.
left us in the.
So
It was
disappointing.
really horrifying.
And they took away all the McDonald's in the Walmarts. It's
we
so
just had a
disappointing.
galactic.
And they took away all the goldfish.
Yeah, right? Remember the aquariums they used to have in Walmart? You could go in there and buy one of those like puffy-eyed goldfish, bring it home, cook it up for dinner. No more live food. It's really a shame.
So true. So now everyone knows. Just in case you are concerned, the 22nd wins this year.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What happened to December 25th's other arm?
25th or 22nd or 21st?
Christmas's arm. What happened to it?
Like
Is it behind his back?
Yeah. Like notice how these guys they also don't have the second arm because they're like fencing. They have it behind their back. Proper fencing technique.
Real confusing.
And he is like doing the hand down thing and as is proper
like what you do when somebody's racing.
Yeah. And like as is proper in the calendar world, you put the other arm behind your back.
I see. So
and then you know.
He's like the reasonably attractive, inappropriately dressed girl of the calendar wars.
Right, but he's the king.
Yeah.
So it's like they don't really do wars. It's more like one battle. Like
you like reenactments.
Like it's like you guys fight,
and whoever,
and then like it's like this is more like tournament style.
So
like the 22nd,
whoever wins this determines how the sun sets in the universe.
Yeah.
Wow, these guys are.
Yeah, calendar people are more important than anyone thought.
It's always nice when we learn a little bit more about them and their importance in the universe.
Yeah, like calendar people have to exist. They're like a quantum entity.
You think they ever feel trivialized by the fact that we sell replicas of them and nail them to our walls with sort of weird pictures on them or sort of nice pictures on them, or you think they're offended by like the idols we hang on our walls?
Maybe, or
are they, like,
honored?
Yeah. I'm just saying, if I could get
except
a calendar,
it's also they probably think it's weird because if we remember from multiple episodes ago, that's how they're like born. Is the parents rip them off the wall? So it's not that we're necessarily imitating them. We're imitating like their coming into existence process.
One of these days we should create a calendar. 12 drawings. We could sell those.
Oh yeah, especially if we just do 12.
Yeah, we bring them down to
365.
I'm not suggesting we do that. Like one for each month. And we can bring it down to that. You know how at the mall around New Year's time they always have, around Christmas time they always have that booth in the middle of the mall with like 783 calendars. Just bring them down there, and I'm sure they'll put ours with that. You can buy like a moose calendar and a, like a chickpea of the month calendar. I think I saw that one time.
Chickpea?
Yeah, like the food. I don't. They sell some weird calendars. Is all I'm saying.
Like that sounds like a program you would sign up for, and they mail you chickpeas.
It does. A chickpea of the month. Which, we could start that too.
What, chickpeas? We could do like art.
Oh
like,
yeah.
We send them,
maybe we'll stick with art.
We like send them a drawing.
We'll stick with art. Yeah. I almost went way off the rails there. I just gotta stay in your lane, Isaac.
Yeah, let us know if you'd be interested in a Art of the Month program.
I mean, how would that be different than what we already do? Like a Patreon?
They pay us.
Oh,
that's the difference.
Oh, wow. Huh. I never thought about that. I just assumed this was a money losing thing we do. Like,
Yeah, like they pay us and we mail them art every month.
You know what would be hard about that? We'd have to find stamps that were black and white, because I'm not sending any mail with stamps that are colored.
Right.
Maybe we can design stamps too. Like that used to be a thing that was impressive back when people, like old people, were young. You know, like
Oh,
people
like
cared-
you viewed the past.
Yeah, the past. Back when old people were young, they like cared about, like people talked about stamps. Like it was a big deal.
Yeah,
Stamps,
like stamp
you know?
collecting was a thing.
Like, yeah, like people really talked. Like the price of stamps went up, and there was like riots in the street because people had seen stamps. Like I can't even remember the last time I used a stamp. I don't know that I've ever used a stamp.
Right.
Maybe once when I sent something to the other side of the world.
Yeah.
I had to put
because your
stamps on it.
grandparents live in the same state as you,
Yeah,
so you don't need to like mail them things.
but like I guess
Because like grandparents are the people that people send letters
that's probably
to.
the only time I've really
Like-
seen stamps is getting letters from my grandparents.
Yeah.
Because they would send us a birthday card sometimes, even though they lived like 20 minutes away.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah, because it's like I can't think of anyone else I've ever sent like a letter to.
Yeah, because we weren't young when
Like
old
if
people
I
were.
write someone a letter, I hand it to them in person. The couple times I've done
Yeah,
that.
like, and you just feel weird doing it.
Yeah.
It's like paying with cash,
Mm-hmm.
which I had to do at lunch today because
Yeah.
I didn't have my debit card.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt like I was in the 1950s in a diner, you know? Like,
Not that old.
like the waitress had called me hun, and I was about to go out and get in my Buick. Like, just felt so weird leaving a tip in cash. Like the poor waitress is gonna see that and be like, "What am I supposed to do with this?" You know, like,
Waitresses go home with cash every day.
yeah, but it's from people who were once young. You know?
You aren't young anymore.
Yeah, but I'm not old. I'm like recently not as young as I used to be. That's much different.
I'm gonna save this drawing.
I don't know that much can save our drawings, man. It's more just like they're slowly waiting to die. Like if they were a vet, they'd be recommending you put it down. And if they were old, they'd be telling them to go hug their family, you know? That's what happens when something's about to die. In case you've never experienced this phenomenon. Phenomena? Now this just reminds me of the thing from the Muppets. You know what I mean? This is always the weirdest part of every video each week when Ben's just typing with one hand across the studio and I have to fill the air with comments of my own.
You don't have to like say things directed towards me. Like you keep ending
I'm so
every
used to talking to you, man.
you keep ending every
just-
like sentence with a like as if it's a question.
They come across
or
like
you're
philosophical when
you're like
there's no response.
you're like expecting me to respond,
I
but
think
I'm
just expecting people at home to contemplate with me. You know? We'll call it Contemplation Corner. In honor of Josh over there in the corner. Poor Josh. He's getting skinny. I
left
forgot
the
to
corner.
feed him again this week. Sometimes I forget he's in the corner of the studio until you know his bony hand reaches up over the chair that he's behind.
Why is he behind the chair?
Well, you don't want people to see him. You have people over and they're like, "Why is he sitting in the corner?" And you're like, "Just ignore him." I'd put a tarp over him, but he vetoed that.
How many people do you have coming to our studio?
Well, you know, there's people who want to see it. I give tours.
Oh, that makes
You
sense.
know, it's like the Muppet Studio.
Yeah.
You know, people are wanting to see it.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Carla's never had a tour. Now that I think about it, she's never been here.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna be in town in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we'll need to have her on.
Yeah, we should have her
sometime.
on sometime. That'd be great. She can talk about how we once sat in her house.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about how we sat in her house, but she'll be sitting in our studio.
Right.
Be all kinds of circular, you know, full circle, as they say.
Do we also have to like serve her ribs?
That's something we can discuss, you know, because I don't want to cook ribs. I don't have a smoker.
They wouldn't be
Yeah,
comparable.
like we'll have to cook something we're good at cooking, like you know, the black and white foods,
Yeah, Oreos.
Oreos, and Oreo Pop-Tarts.
Yeah.
We can make it our signature drink.
Oh yes.
Yeah. To go see Ben again and get some black water.
Mm-hmm.
I need to stop stalling now and actually draw. Oh, well, welcome back. Welcome back, guys. Okay.
The first day of fall.
Day of fall.
Yep.
I don't know that your drawing matched that title at all.
But it was a fight to determine the first day of fall.
Oh, never mind. It has everything to do with it. Sometimes I get those confused.
There wasn't a pun exactly.
Not really.
It was just kind of.
We've done so many fall puns. The first day of fall.
Yeah.
First day of fall.
Right.
Like, do I riff on day
or fall?
Or fall.
Fall has a lot more meanings than day.
It has like two. It's like the autumn or tripping. You know.
Right. But day has like age. Or day.
The first day, the first age of fall. Like, that would be an interesting one. You know?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Like, I did that for Mother's Day that one time. If you remember that. When I did, like, the age of mothers. With
That's true.
This, like,
giant mother dinosaur thing.
Yep. That was definitely a drawing I did.
The first day of fall. You know the problem with drawing Adam and Eve is they're usually naked, and we don't draw naked people. Unlike a lot of artists. You know, isn't that weird? That, like, you go to art school, you know there's going to be a day when you're like, all right, I wonder what we're doing today. They're like, well, we brought this person in off the streets. Like, quick, remove the sheets.
Off the street?
Where else do they find?
They like hire models.
It depends on what day it is of this, you know?
It depends on how nice of a school you're at.
Yeah. You go to a really nice art school, you don't mind so much. you go to, like, the discount... Like you question whether it's even an art school on this day. You're like, I don't know if this is like something we should be doing. It's just like an ugly person that they just found, and they're like, you want to make $3.50? You know, just put on this sheet. I'm just saying, it's a good thing we didn't go to art school.
Right.
Like, there's like a moral problem with this day at art school. You know? Like, I'm happy to draw naked fruit. You know, like naked fruit.
Yeah.
I'll draw like a naked animal. It'd be weird to draw a clothed one.
Right.
You know? But there's something sick about the art school day when it's like, all right, time to draw everything.
Yep. It's like
we're going to be drawing new illustrations for the anatomy textbooks today. It's like, why?
Yeah,
Why?
it's like they can get away with it because they're like, oh, you have to know how the muscles move in the body.
Yeah, but it's like,
and you're like, yes, but
they should have like a special day for like, if you're planning on going into nude arts, you know, take this course, and you just, those people are all just arrested. Right. You know, like you shouldn't be doing this, guys.
But it's like, even if that's not what you plan to draw ever, it's like you need to know how the muscles work in the body.
There's certain muscles you just don't need to see.
Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying they get away with it.
The Two Poor Artists Art School will not have a nude, you know, person off the street day, nude model.
Yeah, it'll be one of us.
It'll have nude poor artists. Boy, oh boy, that's how you get people to sign up for your class. We're gonna be starting in on a 6-month course of this, and it ends with. You know, nude poor artist day. It's a big event. People come from miles around. They crowd the windows and lower people down from the ceiling. Yeah, just catch a glimpse. Ooh boy!
I know I'm the one that said it, but I'm also vetoing it.
Be ashamed of this. This is a PG channel. Now I've got Adam and Eve. That's what started this.
Behind bushes.
They're the problem. They're the start of everything that went wrong. Always have been, Still today they are. I don't want to draw.
Because you skipped out on that day of art school, you don't know how to draw Adam and Eve.
All right, I'm gonna draw Adam and Eve. I don't know. I'm just gonna draw bushes in front of them, like they do in all the children's books.
That's how you're supposed to do it.
Is it? Is that like a rule?
Yeah. It's like I remember my drawing from 2 years ago when I drew like Adam tripping. It was like I had to draw a bush like perfectly aligned with him.
Conveniently
falling.
placed shrub. I would even call it. Oh, what height? Butt height. A butt height shrub.
That feels quite a bit lower than like.
Maybe this shrub's
like
unrelated.
How short is his leg? Or I mean, I don't know. I don't know the perspective you're drawing yet. But those seem like pretty short legs. Or
you're right. That shrub's unrelated. We'll go to a different shrub now. Let's. This is unrelated. This is not going to be covering anybody.
Okay. Is this the tree?
I mean, I don't know what you mean by that. You mean like the one with the fruit?
Yeah, the knowledge, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil?
No.
Okay. This
is a oak tree.
Oh, okay.
You know? Heard of it?
The oak?
The oak. The mighty oak.
Is this has this been named yet?
Yeah, the oak. THU.
I'm just trying to figure out the timeline of your drawing.
After the fall. Or no. Before the fall. Actually, the first day of fall.
Oh, okay.
You know, like
let's see.
Uh-huh.
So it has been named.
It is. I just told you. It has a name. Its name is Gerard. The tree.
Can you imagine? Of the names, like we obviously in English have names for things and stuff, but like, what did Adam name?
There's no way what we call things is what Adam named.
Yeah, like he didn't look at this tree and be like, "That's an oak." He could have looked at this tree and been like, "I'm naming it Gerard."
Yeah, right. If Adam was like me, then it would be like God would have regretted
giving you the job of naming everything.
You know, he would have been like, "Oh, I knew he was going to do this because God," but there's still something.
Anyone who's ever DM'd for Dungeons and Dragons,
you relating that to God?
Knows that naming things is just like if you're literally just given name everything. It's like it's when all of your players are like, "What's this random person's name?" You're just like, I didn't come up with one. Not easy to come up with names. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right.
Especially when there's like thousands of names you have to come up with.
I've noticed because I played Dungeons and Dragons with you as DM, and you're always coming up with names, and you can't pronounce the names you're coming up with because you're looking them up.
Well, those times it's because I'm using the official names that are like from video games and stuff in that town.
It's only back in Adam and Eve's day they had bushes that were this shaped. You know, the natural sensory bush,
right?
Like censoring bush.
They had like feet followed around like they're.
No matter where Adam and Eve walked, they were behind one of these.
It was like the camera angle direction.
There's nowhere you could stand in the garden that wasn't censored.
Like if like 3 people came to the garden to look at Adam and Eve, there'd just be like 3 bushes would run up.
How close to the neck? The first region that must be covered. I guess it's different for different people. Oh, this is gonna be so bad, so bad.
That one isn't doing a very good job.
I'm not used to having to censor so much.
What? Isn't that where's the... I was confused on where the front of the body was. What? What is this person?
Her name is Eve. Oh, gosh. Okay. Nose first, Eve. Nose first, Eve. I always forget which way the eyes go on nose first people, despite having drawn like thousands of them.
Well, technically, it's been established on this channel that when you're drawing the first people, you always do hair first, not nose first.
Oh, okay.
It's an Adam and Eve only.
You're right. Thanks for reminding me. That could have been disastrous. Oh, okay. Time to fix everything.
Ow! with the face, with the nose.
Where's the nose go? Nose goes. Nose goes. You ever do? We do nose goes. If you don't want to do something, you can just shout to the nearest crowd. Nose goes, and someone else might have to do it instead. Eve didn't have a mouth. It's really. I think is what we're learning from this.
We're learning. I mean, look at where her head is compared to her body.
She's leaning a little. It's not.
Like, what's happening behind that bush?
Her neck is just like jutted forward.
Well, but like you can see the front of her neck.
Gosh, you're right. Maybe I can fix this with a mouth. Nope. Yeah. She has real long hair. Yeah.
And the hair just like sticks away from the body, you know,
so
weird.
Sorry about this, Eve. Let's try Adam.
And the center bush is just like not where it needs to be.
You're right about that.
And does she have arms?
Her?
Because they're not down and they're not up.
One starts here and is pointing this direction. The other one is behind her, and we'll see that here. This neck does not align, and I'm aware. Like, there's nothing to be done.
Oh, man.
Yes, this is man. The first man. Thanks for acknowledging it. He does have a mouth. Unlike his...
Well, I mean, Eve now has a mouth. It's just different.
It's also...
It's not a nose first mouth. It's a mouth first mouth.
Yeah, so it's hair like Elvis Presley. Derpy is looking at him I ever saw.
He looks better than his wife.
Oh, that neck.
Which arm is that?
The right one. I almost drew a line for his collar.
It looks like he's wearing a vest.
These are just gonna. There's just gonna have to be like a leg coming out of here.
Yeah, I mean,
somewhat better.
So much better. Like, I mean, his arm kind of looks weirdly attached to his chest, but
yeah, but it is.
Like it's weird that he doesn't have a shoulder.
I agree. I'd like to point out I live in Arizona and I don't know what fall leaves look like. So that's kind of like a palm frond. They had different trees in the garden. That's all I'm saying.
There's I mean, the mangled hand.
I'd also like to point out that this is supposedly
hand
the
mangler.
first fall, and yet it's clearly winter with this tree.
Like all like this is the last fall.
Just add some leaves. This is leaves. Definitely the leaves of the scribble tree.
You could have like done that thing.
Every scribble tree in the Garden of Eden had a number of leaves that looked like scribbles. Adam knew what scribbles were because he milked the first squid and plucked the first eagle to create the first pen.
You could have just like done that thing where you like draw loops around and just been like, this is representative of all the leaves.
But that's not how scribble trees look.
I thought this was an oak tree.
An oak scribble.
Oh.
Yeah. The mighty oak scribble. Lost, just like we lost T-Rexes. They also all come with one leaf that doesn't look like a scribble.
That is the first to fall.
The first to fall. That's how you know.
Yeah. It always falls on the first day of fall. It's like, oh, that night was exactly 12 hours and
she's just
0 seconds.
Yep.
The leaf will fall.
It was a hot fall day in the garden due to the greenhouse effect.
But if the garden was in the greenhouse?
I mean, yeah, why not?
So wait, is this... So they're in the garden still. So the first fall happened before the fall.
Yeah. I mean, people debate how long they would have been there.
Yeah. No,
I'm
I'm just clarifying.
I think they started in summer and experienced the first fall.
And then the fall.
Yeah, like during the fall.
Was
That's
it like,
why they call it the fall.
Or was it the first?
No, but like that's
like,
why.
Like later this day, they were deceived.
Yeah, there's like a snake just like behind this tree.
Yeah, but this isn't the tree.
No.
He's getting ready to go to a different tree.
It also might be a worm. It's really hard to tell. It's so friendly looking.
Wouldn't he have legs?
He's like on a rock. Just ignore that line. It never was there. Uh-huh. This will be a conversation piece for the gallery one day. People will be like, I know that behind that rock is a line.
Mm-hmm.
Because before the two poor artists were famous, they had a YouTube channel. I mean, we'll still have a YouTube channel,
Yeah.
but it'll mostly be us counting our gold.
Oh.
Yeah. Be like,
let us know.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've made it this far into the video, the answer is probably yes. But would you watch us just count gold?
Yeah, that's a good question. And if you'd like to see us do it, send us some.
We'll count it for you.
Adam, my dear. What? Hang on, you gotta figure out how to spell this.
Mm-hmm.
What? Pray tell. Is
I expected
the meaning
you to put a big word there, like something that people don't know how to spell. I didn't realize it was the word pray.
Well, was it P-R-E-Y? Is it P-R-A-Y?
You thought the saying might have been
I mean,
like about
I don't know.
pray,
It's like a hunting term or something. What pray tell is that?
but like
and
the
it's like
phrase telling
Yeah.
something.
I mean, you never know. You never know with these old-timey phrases, They were invented so long
but it
ago.
makes sense.
They were invented when the elderly were young.
But it makes sense with the word pray spelled like this, because it's like I beg you to tell me, whereas like the other way it's like I'm gonna kill you. So tell me.
First fall. What would Adam's pet name have been for Eve?
I mean,
You
did
know?
he have to give her pet? Like he named her.
Yeah, so we give her a nickname too, obviously.
Well, he did. He basically had two names for her: woman and Eve.
The first fall. Woman and Eve, huh? Do I combine them? Calls her Weave.
Eve.
That's just weird. First fall. Evie. My love. Yeah, like the Pokemon.
Yeah.
And then this guy knows it's his time. He. He's thinking this.
He's not actually laughing. He's like in his head laughing.
Yeah. I'd like to apologize for
Eve.
like
everything else is I find acceptable.
I don't know how to fix
Everything about Eve I find unacceptable.
just it's how you see it in all the movies. You're uncomfortable watching them, you know?
I mean,
you're like, if they take a wrong step.
But I'm not uncomfortable for this reason.
Yeah, but you know, as long as you're feeling
And
uncomfortable.
it's like she's already like squatted down too much for her bush and put her neck
I
on
know.
in the wrong
I
spot.
know.
Like everything about her is the worst. You forgot the word day. And of.
No, I just feel like it should be here.
Well, it can't be. Unless you have a little red of letter F floating in the sky.
I'd like to apologize for that title too. Not proud of it. I'm actually less proud of that title than I am of the rest of the drawing.
Then Eve? Look at her again.
I don't want
Take a
I don't want
glance
to.
in her direction.
No, thank you. I don't think I should. I might change my mind about what I just said, and I don't want to. All right. The first day of fall, you know, the first leaf fell off on the first whatever boring equinox thing happened.
Right.
This is the time of year that the fall happens. Like, why else is it called the fall? Like,
Is it the fall of mankind?
like, no one tripped. Like,
well,
maybe the
according to my drawing,
yeah,
he did trip.
maybe the snake tripped, you know, because like he was walking on legs, and then his legs apparently disappear, and he's like, ugh, thud,
And
fell, you know.
Yeah, it wasn't a slow falling off of the legs. It's an immediate.
I know our timeline is confusing, but like maybe this is the day Satan was like cast down to earth.
Right.
So like he just falls into the garden and then stands up and he's a snake and he's like, "Why don't you eat from the tree, my dear?
You know, many people.
All the better to eat you with.
I don't think he said that.
All the better to eat, my dear." And she's like, "Granny, what big fangs you have."
You know, lots of people think that there were no seasons until after the flood.
Well, see, this will set them straight.
And
it's probably due to the greenhouse effect in the garden. You know,
right, because it was in the greenhouse.
See,
There's
the thing
like
is, if the
glass
garden- if the
bubble
garden-
around it.
if the garden has a gate that then God sends a cherubim to guard,
It
Adam
must
and Eve
have
can't get in,
glass
it
walls
must have
around
glass
it.
walls, right? Like
Yeah,
the first
obvious.
greenhouse.
Obviously.
Although I'm sure it was actually painted green because God wouldn't name something a greenhouse and then it not be green.
Well, unless it's just where everything green was.
Oh.
There wasn't green outside because man hadn't,
I'd still like to think that the glass had a green tint to it.
all glass does.
All glass is green?
Yeah.
Do tell.
Well, like, hold up
I know
a
Heineken bottles apparently are.
hold up a
wine
pane
bottles.
of glass and look at it on the side.
Man, nobody's got a pane of glass
so that you're like
this with.
so that you're like seeing all of the, like you're trying to see through the whole glass. It's green on the side. You can also get a similar effect by having a bunch of mirrors. You'll notice that they like turn green as you like see it farther and farther into the smaller and smaller.
Well, the next time I just have a spare pane of glass lying around, I'll test this.
Well, like if you have a glass table, look at it from the side. It'll look green because you are trying to see, like you're seeing so much glass that the light can't get all the way through.
So it turns green?
And it looks green because glass is green.
I think you just have a green piece of glass.
No, all glass is green.
I think the only glass you've looked at sideways was green.
No, all glass is green.
I think all glass is clear.
No.
Except for stained glass.
Mostly clear.
You're talking about stained glass?
Those are different colors. Like, obviously, stained glass can be whatever color they stain it with.
But if you look at all stained glass from the side,
regular,
it's all green.
Regular glass is green. It always has a green shift.
Oh, well, then I'm suddenly much more okay with greenhouses being called greenhouses, as long as you're looking at them from the side.
Yeah, well, it always shifts the light a little bit more green.
I'd like to assume...
it's like so little you don't notice unless it's from the side.
I'd like to assume that this isn't just an elaborate lie on your part, and that the person who named greenhouses knew that this was true.
Right.
Or they had a friend and fellow poor artist that lied to them about it, so they're like, well, the clear house sounds weird. I'll just call it green after what my friend expounded to me the other day about looking at it from the side.
Yeah.
I don't have a pane of glass to test it with, but they need the name by the end of today. You know, like
they need to name the glass house that grows plants.
Yeah.
And the name has nothing to do with what
grows in it. No.
Yeah, no, it's
completely unrelated.
The glass
due to the
is green.
Phenomena that happens when you phenomena. Do like I don't know. I've said that word twice today. Unrelated, not even realizing. Anyway, the point is, it is the first day of fall.
Yes,
and we have drawn that for you.
Right,
and you have watched that. Now go out and experience it. Go live your life in the outdoors. Carve a pumpkin. Drink some cocoa, build a campfire, have some s'mores. But most importantly, make poor art in your heart and on paper with a ballpoint pen.
How long is this going to go on for?
It's just advice, man. How you experience this is what you do in the fall. And when you see that first leaf fall, just remember, Eve.
Not this Eve, though. But here's an actual lesson from looking at this drawing that we can all take.
You can tell she's a woman. I succeeded in that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Here's the lesson that we can all take. Even if you're the worst artist ever.
Yes.
Possible.
That's me.
Imaginable.
That's us.
Like, just draw anyways. If you like to draw, just draw.
We're nothing if not inspiring. I think.
Yeah. Like, we're not good.
No, and we never will.
And we'll never will be. We draw all the time.
All the time.
And
at
we
least
enjoy
once
it.
a week.
We enjoy it every time.
We do. It's a good time. Draw in the fall, under a tree, in a scarf.
Probably don't draw while you're falling, though.
That's like not recommended. Unless it's like my last will and testament in art. Like the real long fall.
It's a real long fall, yeah.
Like, this is like, I jumped out of the airplane. I forgot my parachute, but brought my sketchbook.
Yep.
You know?
Might as well draw my
will and testament. Yeah. Yeah. Person, yeah. That's how ours are going to be.
We have to interpret it from these types of drawings, from our drawings.
Well, it's needless to say, no one's getting anything. You know? Bank is just going to...
We found old Pappy's will and testament, but...
Back from when these old artists were young.
None of us are getting anything.
Not at all. Not 1 cent. See you next time.
Bye.
As always, we're surprised you made it this far into our video.
There's no way we could possibly ask you to subscribe to this atrocity, so we won't.
We would say share it with your friends, but it's probably better for wasting your enemy's time.
We're probably not going to get any better, but we will keep drawing.
See you next time.